On September 17th, 2023, Super Mario 64 speedruns completely changed thanks to a single 2-minute video, but the story behind it goes deeper than that. Let's talk about it. Super Mario 64 has been full of tricks that people will never be able to execute in real time, but today, I want to talk about a trick that has become more and more feasible over the last few years: Carpetless. The final main course in the game, Rainbow Ride, houses a carpet that you can ride throughout the level. If you stay on it, the carpet will take you to the top of the stage, which houses the star, the big house in the sky. You may notice one issue though. Getting this star requires standing on the carpet for a really long time, and in the case of a speedrun, well, that's quite slow. So what if you could just avoid this carpet entirely? For more than a decade now, skipping the carpet has been known to be possible thanks to the likes of TASes or tool-assisted speedruns. You can find multiple TASes from the early 2010s getting to the top of the stage, thanks to what is a BLJ, or backwards long jump, which allows you to build up an excess amount of speed. This glitch has been used all across the game, both in TASes and in real time. If you take a look at what the TAS does in Rainbow Ride though, this is something a human would never realistically pull off. But what if there's another way to get to the top? Well, good news, there actually is. In 2015, ToadFan5 became the first person to grab the star without riding the carpet. Except, this is from a save state, so I actually can't give you the full picture. If we fast forward to 2019 though, Xiah would become the first person to properly execute this in a full level attempt, and this is how he did it. Entering the stage, he performed what is a glitchy wall kick, and did a Lakitu bounce in order to reach this pole. He then made his way to a bomb, which he grabbed, threw, and grabbed once more. This was followed by jumping over the cruiser with it, letting go, and doing a side flip and jump dive to grab once again, and finally proceeding to travel to a warp nearby, which brings him further up in the stage. When bringing a bomb through a warp, the bomb becomes invisible and pushes Mario back. This requires the player to hold the opposite direction of what you may expect. When warping, you want to side flip up to the platform right before the opening in the house. With your speed, you lastly want to side flip and perform 2 wall kicks both on the first frame. All that's left to do is jump your way up to the roof, and boom! Xiah became the first person to ever perform Carpetless in one full segment. Looking at the record history for this specific star, we can see this achievement by Xiah was about a minute faster. That's insane because over the years, there's been many minor improvements to different stars, but it's not every day that a minute casually gets cut off of something. And while this meant that Carpetless was now possible to do by a human, this didn't mean that it became a free trick for everyone to do. In fact, achieving Carpetless became a club comprised of a limited number of people. While he didn't beat Xiah, Mikko became the second to do it not too long after, and it would take another 2 years for a new record improvement, which would come from Shake. Since individual star records try to milk every single frame possible, the record using Carpetless would get lowered by many more seconds thanks to TaylorSwiftSimp and Parsee, but what about using this in an actual run? Super Mario 64 has 5 main speedrun categories on the leaderboard: 0, 1, 16, 70, and 120 star. But when it comes to Carpetless, there is one category that we need to talk about: 120. 120 star is grabbing every single star available throughout the game, with top level runs requiring over an hour and a half of gameplay. With Carpetless being a now possible trick that can shave close to a minute, you may wonder, when will this be added to runs? And why wouldn't you just want to throw in such a huge time save? Well, the course where Carpetless is done, Rainbow Ride, is at the very end of the game, which means that in a 120 star speedrun, you have to play for over an hour before even attempting this trick. On top of how late into the game it is, there's an additional layer of how hard this trick is to pull off. Requiring a perfect wall kick so far into an already intense run is a lot to ask. While there was already loose speculation about runners such as Parsee throwing Carpetless into full 120 star attempts, how realistic is that? There still weren't really that many people that had completed Carpetless in an individual level attempt, and it had yet to be executed in a top level run. The closest thing that had happened to completing Carpetless in a full run was completing it in an individual stage segment, which consists of grabbing every single star in a single stage. These are dubbed as stage RTAs. Parsee was able to get the Rainbow Ride stage RTA down to a 532 in April 2023, but that was without Carpetless. In August, he was finally able to beat his own record again, but this time it included the new trick. This got him all the way down to a 438, saving nearly a minute. So at this point, we at least know Carpetless can be done outside of grinding one individual level segment, but it still was not that viable for a proper full run. What would it take to make the trick become more consistent? The day is September 17th, 2023. Parsee, who had already extensively grinded Carpetless, became the first person to get the trick in a full proper run. While it did take him 10 minutes to finally land the trick, no one else was seriously going for it outside of individual level attempts. Now you may remember that this is now the second time I have brought up this specific day, and it wasn't just for this one simple fact. Oh no, that's only the beginning. Let me introduce you to a tool assister by the name of Krithalith. Later in the day, a 2-minute and 41-second video was premiered, and what was contained in it would ultimately change everything I just talked about. For a long time, it had been known that grabbing the star was possible without a carpet, but what if you could also do it without even grabbing the bomb? Tool assisters had already figured out different ways to do just that, but nothing was that realistic enough for a human to do. Until now. In fact, it was so much more realistic that many top runners immediately took note and tried to replicate it, and replicate they more than did. While Krithalith has since posted multiple videos with new varying strategies for Carpetless, the main strategy out of the bunch that was now in everyone's mind was Orthogonal Jones, I think that's what it's called. We'll go with that. How I'm about to explain it is very much an oversimplification, and I recommend Krithalith's uploads, but to give you a gist, you need to take the same ward previously used, wall kick and jump to the opening, and ledge grab the edge. Following this, you need to get a specific numbered valued angle by crouch turning and punching. This is followed by a triple jump and a glitchy wall kick off the wall. At this point, you pause buffer to change your angle, and a second glitchy wall kick is done. All that is left now is jumping up the spire of the castle and traveling your way to the star. Doing all that gives you a feasible bombless carpetless setup. This still may seem like a really complicated trick, and, well, of course it is, but you may not fully understand how much easier this has become compared to before. Over the following week, pretty much every runner that threw in a ton of time into practicing was able to land this trick once, if not multiple times in a row. In fact, Suigi notably was able to pull this off 11 times in a row, and Kanno was able to do it a staggering 15 times, who also additionally did the new trick hundreds of times in a single day. If that's not impressive enough, Bubzia, who is known for blindfolded speedruns, was able to execute this new method not once, but 3 times in a row while completely blinded. This has additionally led to further optimizations to the individual star record I mentioned earlier. Within a week, both gamiru and Mr. Jimmy Steele 25 have lowered it by multiple seconds, with much more time to still be saved. But what about the actual runs? Remember, there's one category this trick is feasible in, 120 star. With this trick being able to realistically save around 45 to 50 seconds when done in a run, that means that overnight the world record became viable for even more people than ever before. Why is that? Well, say you have a bad run that is 20 seconds behind the record. To save it, you get Carpetless first try, which could shoot you 30 seconds ahead. Even outside of possible record contenders, this opens up the possibilities for anyone to get a major new personal best if they execute it. In fact, GothicLogic, who currently has a 140, was able to get Carpetless first try in a run, and was able to lower the Rainbow Ride stage community best. This put it under 6 minutes at 5:57. This has only gotten better, with Kally getting it down to a 5:43 as of writing this, with plenty more to save still. But what does this mean for an actual time for future 120 star records? Well, before this new Carpetless method, people had already been eyeing a 136 being more than possible with a clean run. With this trick in play now, a 136 is now more than realistic, with a 135 even being more viable down the road. With this trick opening up a major amount of time save in a highly contested speedrun category, things are bound to rapidly evolve for quite a while. Krithalith has uploaded faster yet riskier setups that eventually you'll see in the individual star record, and the potential proof of future 120 star record holders has grown. Heck, between the scripting and editing of this video, there may be plenty of new developments that have since happened. Maybe I'll flash more on the screen if it's really that important. While the natural progression of speedrunning in general is really exciting to watch, nothing is more thrilling than seeing a major breakthrough happen in real time. It is rare to see a new major time save become reality in a game as popular and as optimized as Super Mario 64. Time will tell to see who fully takes advantage of these new developments. Thanks for watching.